happening, y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another film review. Today, as I said, we're taking a look at some animated DC stuff. I'm sorry it took me so long, but I did promise that when I did my other DC videos, either on Fortnite or film reviews, that I was going to advocate for DC, try and promote them as much as possible, and watch as much of their content as possible, because no one else is, and I'm not seeing a lot of promotion for their stuff, and they're not getting enough Fortnite skins. I want some more DC characters in Fortnite, because I'm really upset that they missed out Blue Beetle, so that is really where all this stemmed from, the Blue Beetle skin not coming to Fortnite. But anyway, I recently, because I've been on the Turtle binge, watching a load of Turtle videos, and watching Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the 2012 series and the movies, we're doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Batman, which is a 2018 animated movie which stemmed from a comic book, and I do believe it is around an hour and a half long. And according to Google, at Batgirl's behest, Batman reaches out to the Ninja Turtles as he wants to defend or defeat Shredder, who has teamed up with Ra's al Ghul and the League of Gotham City's assassins to destroy Gotham. So, that's what Google says. However, we're going to quickly run through it. So, the Turtles chased Shredder from New York City to Gotham City in their turtle van, it's got a name, the Shell Razor. It's got a name, the turtle van has a name. Unfortunately, I can't remember it right now. But they're driving to Gotham, and they've been chasing them to every sort of science lab where they've been stealing parts. The Foot Clan have been stealing scientific parts to give to Baxter Stockman so he can build this machine. Ra's al Ghul has been their benefactor and who's been helping them and who's their partner in crime in Gotham City. However, the Penguin wanted to have in on this and tried to stop them stealing something so he could sell it to them because he's all about money, he's a businessman. The Turtles ended up fighting the Penguin, thinking that he was the benefactor to Shredder, but he ended up not being. They defeated him, they locked him up, and they then went down to street level, and unfortunately they ran into Batman, who absolutely destroyed them. And yeah, they got their asses handed to them severely. They were beaten the shit out of by Batman. And it just goes to show Batman can beat anyone with prep time. And yeah, because of this, they thought that he was working with Shredder, so they tracked him down and went into the Batcave. Donnie did it all, and he managed it. Don't know how the fuck he pulled it off, but he did. And they ended up in the Batcave. They fought Robin, and then they teamed up with Batman after a quick discussion, and they then went to Arkham Asylum to figure out what Shredder and Ra's al Ghul were doing. Robin knew that he was working with Ra's al Ghul. I don't know how. We never got told. He just knew. And they teamed with Joker to give him mutagen if he gave them the laughing gas, and they then left, and Joker mutated all the residents of Arkham. So we had Harley Quinn turned into a hyena, the Joker turned into a snake, Poison Ivy turned into a Venus flytrap, Two-Face turned into a Siamese cat, Bane turned into a cheetah jaguar type cat, feline, I don't particularly know which one it was, and Scarecrow turned into a crow. Mr. Freeze also turned into a polar bear, and I think that was everyone. The Turtles then arrived at Arkham and had to split up, and they had to fight each one of these guys, and unfortunately, because they've been mutated, they won. They overpowered our heroes, and they caught Batman and mutated him, and mixed their mutagen with Joker's laughing gas, which creates a deadly toxin which destroys your mind and makes you get really rageful and angry, but also mutates you. So Batman kind of turned into Man-Bat and got really angry and started attacking the Turtles. Donnie and Batgirl came up with an anti-mutagen, which hadn't been tested, so they were very hesitant to use it on Batman, but it was their only shot, and they used it on Batman. He ended up surviving. They then beat the mutants, and then chased Shredder to Ace Chemicals to stop his plan. They went in the Shell Razor and the Batmobile, Mikey and Batman in the Batmobile, and then the rest of them in the Shell Razor. They were traveling, and unfortunately they mutated half the Foot Clan, half of Ra's al Ghul's men. And they had to fight them all, from T-Rexes, to tigers, to wolves, to elephants, to all the other animals under the sun. They then inevitably got into the base, and Leo took on Ra's al Ghul, Batman took on the Shredder, Raph took on, like, everyone else, I do believe, and Robin took on Baxter Stockman, whilst Donnie got his arm broken, and him and Mikey hopped on the machine, and it set off, and they shot up into the sky, and they had to stop it before it exploded. They managed to stop it, and it did explode, but the mutagen didn't go everywhere, and then they were falling, and they just tucked into their shells, which is something that they don't actually normally do. You don't see them tuck into their shells all too often, so it was very interesting to see. No one really cared. No one really was interested in where they disappeared to, but they went back to the Batcave with everyone, and they had pizza, and that's where the movie ended. So, the animation style is what I want to talk about first in terms of the movie, and it is such a good animation style. I was thoroughly enjoying everyone's character designs, other than the turtles. I genuinely didn't like Raphael's character design. They did try and make them all look a little bit different, which I do appreciate. However, Raph looked a lot older than the rest, and he did have a scar over his eye. It looked very similar to the Raphael and the Mutant Apocalypse version of Raphael in the 2012 show, but in a 2D animated format. He doesn't have his sort of full head bandana, his pirate style, his do-rag, whatever you want to call it. I've seen loads of people call it loads of different names. He wasn't wearing that. None of them had their own individuality. They were very much just copy and pasted with different proportions. Like, Mikey was built like Danny DeVito, Donatello was tall and lanky, and their head shapes are what I don't like. I didn't like how their heads were shaped in this, but that was just the turtles. I loved Batman's design, I loved his blue and grey outfit, I loved Batgirl's design and Robin's design. I thought they were so cool, and seeing Baxter Stockman as a shorter, like a small fly, was really cool as well. I don't really like how their eyes were white either. That was sort of reserved for when they went, like, badass mode, but they had this on for the entire time. And they dove deep into their personality traits. Donatello was always correcting people. He was, like, the smart kid, the teacher's pet. He was always correcting them and always spitting facts, which, I know Donnie's a smart one, but he doesn't have to correct people 24/7, and he doesn't have to put out a fact to everything someone says. I felt like they put too much into the smartness. Mikey was alright. I liked his personality with he was excited about everything. He loved all these new villains. He loved this new place that he was in, and he just was enjoying life. I liked that aspect to Michelangelo. I thought it was cool and a lot more interesting. He was still goofy, still stupid, and still silly, but he was very excitable about everything and was so excited just to be there, which I felt like a couple of the other characters could have been. He brought the joy to the series, as everyone else was more serious and stuck up with, like, sticks up their ass. I do like the art style, though, but the Turtles design sort of ruined that for me. Harley Quinn's voice actor, because we're moving on to voice actors now, is fucking incredible. She is the voice of Harley Quinn. She is the appropriate voice of Harley Quinn, and she voices Harley Quinn in fucking everything. Animated TV shows, games, animated movies, more games. She is the voice of Harley Quinn, and I know Kelly Kuko from The Big Bang Theory also voices her, but I prefer Tina Strong's version. Tina Strong just does that Harley Quinn excitable voice, and if you think of Harley Quinn, you think of her voice. And she was here. I didn't really like Donatello's voice. I don't know, I just didn't see that voice fitting Donatello, but the rest of them were alright. I liked everyone else's voice actors, they all fit. It was just Donatello's that felt a little bit off to me. All my complaints seemed to be with Donatello, not gonna lie. But I enjoyed how they mutated the Turtles and the Batman villains. They were really cool, just seeing what animal they would become. I thought some choices were smarter than others, with Scarecrow turning into a crow, and Mr. Freeze turning into a polar bear. They were smart. However, I didn't understand Joker turning into a snake. I'm probably not reading enough into it to understand it, but I don't know. I just don't know why he turned into a snake. I thought he would turn into a different animal, like a monkey or something. I don't know, something clown-like, something funny. But no, he turned into a snake. The story was pretty good. Again, it was very serious, and the only time we got any goofing off or jokes or anything like that was with Michelangelo. I felt like he brought all the joy, all the comedy, and yes, he did make me laugh. He made me giggle. He made me smile. He was the joy to the series or the movie. This was like an hour-long movie, so it wasn't that long. I would have liked a little bit more stuff from the Turtles. Again, we did have them falling out, we did have them fighting, and we did have Leo getting exposed to the fear gas, seeing his brothers die, which is always his fear. Leo's greatest fear is his brothers dying, and I feel like that's been so overdone with the other versions of the Turtles that I was kind of wishing that Scarecrow would fight a different member of the Turtles just to see a different fear. It did push him forward, and it did help him in the final fight with Ra's al Ghul, but again, I just wish it was someone else who got the dream sequence, because it was quite boring with Leo just seeing his brothers die yet again. It was very Iron Man-like in Avengers Age of Ultron, where he sees the stack of dead bodies with Thanos standing at top of it. But that's all I really have to say about the voice actors and the animation style. For the story itself, was very interesting. I liked how we had Shredder teaming up with a lesser known, not a big face Batman villain like Ra's al Ghul. I feel like it fit as well because they're both heads of major ninja clans. Like, they all have their own ninja army behind them, and that's really cool. So it was fitting villains that they teamed up with, but obviously you couldn't have a Batman movie without featuring some of the Batman Rogue Gallery, so we had to feature a load of others like the Riddler and Joker and Harley Quinn, Bane, and stuff like that. There was a detail which I did catch where Bane tried to break Donatello's shell because he broke Batman's back. However, Donatello in recent movies has been a soft shell turtle, so if he was still a soft shell turtle, he would have broke his shell. However, he wasn't a soft shell turtle in this, and I'm pretty sure he broke Bane's knee with his shell. I was quite worried in this moment because I knew Donatello was a soft shell turtle, so I genuinely thought Bane was going to fuck him up. But no, I was left kind of relieved, but also kind of disappointed because they didn't sort of stick with the Donatello being a soft shell turtle. And I know this came out in like 2018, but they already established he was a soft shell turtle in this like universe with the 2016 movie and the 2018 series. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all next one. Hope you all have an excellent day. And if you do want to leave me any thoughts and suggestions on what other movies I can do, please do leave that in the comments below. And I'll review them as soon as possible. But for this, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I'm happy that I watched it, but I'll probably never watch it again. I feel like it deserves that 6 out of 10 because it was one of the best.